You know, it's unbelievable that the whole world wouldn't know and be constantly in pain over the fact that so many people are dying from the sanctions. I mean, imagine more than 575,000 children killed, murdered, if you will, because it was deliberate and the consequences were known by sanctions, and yet very, very few people are aware of it. I talk around the country pretty frequently, and people don't know it. And now, why don't they know it? They don't know it because the media, which has this stunning capacity to inform, I mean, there's never been anything like it in history. People can know almost simultaneously anything. And yet this huge American population and huge world population are unaware of this terrible tragedy that's occurring in Iraq and continuing to this day. And the reason is the media doesn't want them to know. Throughout the assault on Iraq, it was like a continuing commercial, 24 hours a day, for weapons systems, for militarism, for U.S. heroism, for Iraqi evil. The demonization of Saddam Hussein was a major effort of the media. And it engaged in absolute and known falsehood. Now, compare that with, I mean, tens of thousands of infant deaths in Iraq in the sanctions, and not a mumbling word. The media says nothing about it. It knows it's happening. It knows we're doing it. I mean, we saw the broken incubators pushed against the wall that couldn't be worked. We saw the operating incubators with 2 or 3 infants in there because they got as many in as they could to keep as many alive as they could. And we know how many never got to the incubator. They died before they got to the incubator. They died from bad water. They died from malnourishment in the mother. They died from undersized birth, and they just couldn't cope with, you know, the challenge of life at the beginning. They died from no medicine, simple baby medicine that would have saved them. They died because the United States government intended that they die. That was the purpose of the sanctions, to crush that government and people for a generation or more, and the media knows it, and the media is the propaganda organ. I mean, look at it. Who owns the media? It's the major corporations. How close are they to the military-industrial complex? They're intimately intertwined. I mean, GE is always first or second among all military suppliers, and who are their advertisers? And they're dependent on the advertisers. And who are their friends? I mean, who do the news readers hobnob with political celebrities? Whose stories do they advance? They are actually the same people control the media that control the military. It's corporate wealth and private wealth in the United States that governs this plutocracy.